So it's on the side. No
Oh,
disturb.
this,
Mm-mm.
this,
That
this.
focus. No disturb. Mm-hmm. It's the moon looking
That's
half
it.
moon thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then you can lock the screen.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us once again on this Discipline Therapy Thursday for your Discipline Therapy podcast with your two incredible hosts, seven-time published author, Mr. E.L. Discipline, and with him always, Suhey Sotomayor. Thank you. Thank you. So we're here with season 2, episode 123, High Sex Drive versus High Sexual Appetite. And I'm sure Mr. Discipline is going to give us the distinctions with those. But before we begin, I just have to go over a few things. The link is in the description, how to become part of our Patreon family and subscribe for exclusive content, bloopers, behind the scenes, EL Discipline solo lectures of discipline therapy talk, his BDSM content, erotica posts and writings by him, then collaboration shows pertaining to sensitive topics such as abortions, transgender, conspiracy theories with myself and with Mr. Discipline. Once again, to become part of our Patreon family, it's patreon.com/ the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Also, we have Mr. Eel Discipline's books. He has 7 published books. They're all available on Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. We also have electronic versions for Kindle as well, and more. The link is also in the description of the video for that. We also have our online store for merch, and that's at disciplinetherapy.launchcart.store/shop. We have new gear in there all the time. We have a bunch that just hit, so go check that out. We have a bunch of different categories for you to choose from: children, men's, women's, accessories, you name it, we got it. And we're also on major listening platforms such as Spotify, Apple, iTunes, Deezer, Castbox, Overcast, and much, much more. So, with that being said, Mr. Eel Discipline, are you going to do your thing? He's a busy man.
Ladies and gentlemen, we know you're fiends and you know what that means. We're serving you your dose weekly of discipline therapy where not everything is completely free, as we are on Patreon for a plethora of exclusive content for you to see. But what is free is a judgment free, sucker free, censor free, sensitive free, and some liberty. God and the ancient ancestors are great, and that means everything else is straight. So go grab your wine, popcorn, or my favorite roll of blunt. But make sure the children are in bed. Why? Because we have that soul food and sometimes vulgar conversations. Prepare your mind to be fed. Light one up, inhale life, and exhale strife. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are tuned in to the Discipline Therapy Podcast.
We're
We're here.
here. And also before we get started, you know how we do. We have to clear the energy, clear the air. I got so good at this that it keeps on going. Keep going. Still going. Yeah.
Great.
All right.
All
So,
right.
season 12, episode 123, high sex drive versus high sexual appetite. And we have a guest caller. Hello, caller. How are you?
Hello, hello. I'm doing great. How are
Um,
you guys today?
I'm okay. How are you, Mr. Discipline?
Um, I don't know.
Oh, no. What do you mean you don't know?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sure once we start getting into it, he's going to just liven up.
Let's go.
All right.
Looking forward.
So, did you hear the topic high sex drive versus high sexual appetite? Do you know
Yes.
do you know the difference between them? Because I do not.
Well, I was gonna say I would love to hear Discipline's version of that. I have my
Definition,
own, but
Well,
definitely.
okay.
um
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. So, this is my perspective, and then that way it makes it a little bit easier for you to answer.
Mhm.
So sexual drive is like stamina. It's like
Oh,
maybe frequent sex, horny.
Correct.
Um, could be like rough sex, multiple rounds, and then appetite. You think of it like nymphomaniac. Different partners, variety. Think of it like a
hmm,
dish. You go to a restaurant,
interesting.
they're giving you multiple dishes. That's appetite. Eating one after the other. Um, high sex drive could be tamed. They climax and then they're good. Appetite is like never satisfied.
Mm,
Interesting. I didn't know any of I didn't I could not
So
make the distinction.
so the appetite is like could be temporary, but the sex drive is like something you can't control.
correct. Okay. That was
Um,
kind of along the same lines I was thinking.
or you can control it. And I'm gonna talk about that later on,
Cool.
about the solution to the problem.
About the sex drive?
Hmm.
Okay.
So that's what it is. So now, uh, you don't have to agree with the distinction. That's mine. But do you have an idea now?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely. Definitely.
Okay. So a woman will most likely stay with a man who can satisfy her inner beast or slut or her high sex drive, then a man will stay with a woman that will do that for him. Do you agree with this or not?
I definitely agree that a woman will stay with a man that will satisfy her inner beast, her slut, allow her to be whoever, whatever she can be for him and whatever satisfies her.
So
As far as
you gave an answer and a why.
um because
No,
it's
no,
not as easy.
I think you just did. You
Oh,
gave an
okay.
answer
Okay.
yes and then you gave a
Mhm.
why. But if you want to
Okay.
elaborate and expound more, you can.
I believe that women have a harder time opening up, some women, I should say, have a harder time opening up to that slut, that inner beast. Um, their naughtier self, they might not be that same person with everyone. Um, so, if you find that person that brings that out in you, then I think yes. I think it's the sex drive is different.
I agree. I
And then
definitely
I think
go ahead.
men, I think men can probably open that up easier. That's just my opinion, at will.
Okay. So,
Okay. I agree with her that is definitely the women will stay with a man who can do that for her. And for the same reasons, I agree that most women have a hard time letting that part of her be seen. It takes a special person to bring it out. Um, and I think for a man, I've asked a lot of guys, like, is there a difference when you have sex with women? And
Mhm.
8 out of 10 will be like, not really. It's just a hole. And the other two are like, well, kind of. But I feel like like she said, it's just it's easier for them.
yeah, I agree. Um
Why
it's
do you sound like, damn, I agree with them?
it comes down to the leader follower,
Mm,
Yeah.
concept. And like you ladies said, most women they're viewed a specific way. There's a societal expectation for a long duration of time. Things are starting to change now, but for a long duration of time, there's been a standard or certain societal expectations of how women should be in the street. You know what I'm saying? How you want to be in the bedroom is different, but in the street. Um, so there's always been a path for women to lead towards, and you can't stray away from that because what can come with it is like shame and judgment, resentment, um, being disowned probably by your family.
mm,
Could
Definitely.
be a traditional Asian or Saudi Arabian.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? Maybe going against race. Stuff of that nature. So when you meet that man who could instinctively just lead and instinctively know what you want without you having to say it, brings ease to a woman's mind.
mm,
I've talked from experience. Most women I could have already saw they had freak tendencies, but I set the tone. I was honest up front first, and they followed my lead. So by me being honest first and letting them know, oh, I'm nasty, I'm freaky, whatever, they felt comfortable to be like, oh, I like that too, I this that, but they
Mm.
didn't want to lead with it because perhaps they didn't want you to run you away, run you away or whatever it is. So
Or be shamed.
yeah,
Yeah.
so like I said earlier, when you meet that man, that creates that safe space because that's what it is. It's creating a safe space to be
Mm-hmm.
vulnerable.
Definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'm about to turn up now.
Oh, you see, now he's getting all peppy.
So it's
Well,
about
go ahead.
creating this safe space for them to be vulnerable. Um, and when you're vulnerable with that person, it's like, your soul always gravitates towards them because
Mm-hmm.
it recognizes it.
A lot of times, once that door is open for that woman, she's like, "Forget it. You've unlocked a crazy in me, and I'm staying with you forever."
Yep.
Yeah.
He's more
Yep.
like a statement. Some sex makes people turn into freaks. Like they like bondage, the size, the wetness, nastiness level, adventurous, foreplay, toys, different places, or doing it in different places, etc. Well, is that just a statement?
Yeah, what do you agree with that?
I was gonna say, I thought the same thing when I was like, is that a statement or um
It is a statement, but do you agree with it?
yes, I believe that some sex makes people turn into freaks. Um, but I also believe that some people are born more adventurous as well. So, um, male or and female. So I don't know. I really don't know where I stand on that one at
They
all.
they were definitely exposed to something while they are more adventurous or more kinkier.
Mm-hmm.
They were definitely
Definitely,
exposed. They weren't born like that. They didn't come out the womb and just instinctively like that. They were exposed to something, and they
I
probably
can agree with you
realized
completely
they
on that
liked it.
one.
Yeah, that's
So
I
true.
can agree with that.
Some sex turn people into freaks. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's some sex is who that sex is with, um, and with all that stuff. Yep.
yeah, chemicals release, endorphins kick in, muscle memory, muscle
Age,
memory. You said age?
age, yeah, I
Mm.
think so. Yes, definitely.
Women or men?
Women,
Okay,
I mean, that's the only thing I can speak on for women. Yeah.
okay. Um, for women with age, it libido increase. For men with age, testosterone decreases. It's
Mm,
I
not.
think
It's
that
not. It's
I
not.
think it increases for women, definitely.
That's yeah.
yeah.
That's true. It's
Mhm.
not always equal. But you find those special type of men.
Yes,
So you agree?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
definitely.
So great sex versus love. Which do you choose?
Ooh, love.
Why?
Um, because I think that, in my opinion, I've had great sex without love. Um, but love fills all things. So for me, you know, with love, it feels great sex. Um, it leads you into your own submission, which is what I prefer. Um, a sense of security, um, and my drive to feel and to fulfill and to meet my partner's needs and desires. So for me, I think love kind of completes more of that.
Okay. So
I
Uh,
think that, well, for me, I definitely think my younger self would have said great sex versus love.
mm,
right.
But I think, my older self now, I'll take the love for the same reasons that the caller said. With love, like she said, you could have great sex and not have love, and it just ends there. But when you have that love and the great sex with it, then so much more opens up. Like you are, because you love that person, you want to do more for them. You want to, please them, um, and like kind of like make their fantasy, fulfill their fantasies too. So
s-
I think it depends with age.
yeah. So for me, great sex.
Always.
Psych.
What?
Psych. Got him. No,
I was like, wow.
love,
She was like,
Okay.
"That's not what I was expecting."
That was
love because of my love language. So if I love you, I want to provide, I want to protect, I want to give security, I want to give great sex. Um, it allows me to be present. So if it's just great sex, no, because my love languages are different. So with the love, a lot more is gonna come with that. So especially getting the love from the opposite sex. So I would choose the love that I would have for her and for her to love me
Mm,
versus it just being great sex. Because you look at lust versus longevity. You
mm-hmm,
look at lust versus love. You look at temporary pleasures
mm,
versus meaningful memories.
mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And also after the lust, after you have all that lust and you have sex, and now it's like you pop that balloon. Then people usually just sitting there like, okay, well, thank you. See you
yeah,
next week. You know what I
well,
mean? Like
that's
that's
all
crazy,
gone.
right? It's just all gone.
Yeah, it's all gone. And when you have love, you still have the abundance of
Mm-hmm.
all of the above.
So
So
much more goes into it. Like afterwards, you can, give each other a massage, or you could talk and, have those intimate moments, the conversation.
mm.
absolutely.
So yeah. All right.
Are you impressed with what a man is willing to do for sex and to be involved with you, or what he's unwilling to do for sex and to be involved with you?
If I understand this question correctly, which I believe I do, um, am more impressed with what he is unwilling to do to be involved with me.
Why?
Um, uh, because I feel like that it's a sign of strength, and the other suggests weakness and desperation. And I'm not saying that that's so. I mean, this is just my opinion, but
Yo,
I want
shout.
someone who knows what they want
I'm
at all
sorry.
times.
I'm sorry. Shout out to all the guests that came on our show. Y'all
Yeah.
are very intelligent.
Yeah, right.
Shout out to all the guests
Because
that
I'm gonna
came
be
on.
honest, I was like, can you explain the question?
Y'all
And now
really
listening to
think.
her, I was like, oh, thank God she went first, because I would have had you explain it to me.
Y'all really
You're very
think.
smart.
I'm sorry. Well, thank you. No, I just think that it shows signs of weakness and desperation, and I want someone who knows what they want already, not um, trying to impress me
Now,
to, not vice versa.
now, these are not any wrong or right answers. They're
Right,
subjective. So, Sue, when you're
right, of
like,
course.
"Oh, she went first," have her explain it. No, it's what
No,
you
but I
think.
didn't. But I know, but I didn't understand the question.
Okay.
No, babe. But then, so is that the way she answered? Is that how you meant the question to be?
Yeah, like, what are you impressed with a man? What he's willing to do for sex and be with you, or are you impressed with what he's unwilling to do for sex and to be with you?
Mm.
Like it's
When you say,
subjective.
Yeah, no,
It's
I think I'd
subjective.
be.
I was gonna say it is
So
subjective.
so
So
Yeah.
unwilling.
with the examples of this,
Hmm.
let's
See,
say
I love
Sue,
examples.
You like flowers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to buy flowers. I would, and I'm making it subjective so you can understand it.
Got you.
And you're like, yo, I would love you if you did this. I would give you attention if you did this. That's not what I do. I'll buy you a teddy bear. I'll buy you a cactus. I'll buy you a plant or something like that. I'm not buying you roses. I'm against that, whatever my boundaries, whatever it is, right?
Mm.
So now I do that because I want to sleep with you.
Right.
And you know it.
Mm.
I do that like the friend zone guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's always one-sided with the friend zone.
Mm-hmm.
He's interested in her, she's not in him. That's why he's still there. So what is he doing? He's trying to do whatever it is to appease her, to get
Correct.
sex or be with her. Oh, if you want
It's
me to wait in this
manipulation.
friend zone for years, I'll wait for you, girl. If you want me to, you're crying because you keep getting with these fuck boys and you call me, you want to have conversations and go out for pizza and stuff of that nature. He's not getting no cheeks. He's not getting stuff. He's spending money. Oh, will you buy for me? She probably so pouts and gives her a cute face, puppy face. Oh, will you pay for me? You understand what I'm saying? They got him in the friend zone. So that dude is like, do you respect him?
Do I respect
May,
them? No,
Are you
may I
impressed with that?
I would be impressed with that. I would be impressed with both, because I would be impressed, like, wow, you really waited that long? You're some different. Just
Okay.
I would be impressed, like,
But let's say impressed in the sense of it's building sexual
okay, then no.
attractiveness or arousal.
Then I'm gonna hop on what she said and go with the unwilling.
Okay.
and may
So
I tap into one thing?
yes.
My thing is that I want somebody to be themselves. So I don't want them to do it for me. Like, of course you want someone to pay attention to you and to observe your, the things that you like and enjoy, and so on and so forth. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't want someone to do it because that's what they think um
Like forced,
is gonna
kind of.
win me over, because I
Yeah.
want to know who you are as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to do, like you said, the whole cactus situation. Like, I would prefer to get the cactus than for it to just be the flowers that I like,
Mm-hmm.
because then I'm understanding you as well.
You know he
And
really cares about you because that caters to his love language. You are instinctively going to know this.
yeah, and also you're
You know
letting
for a
him
fact
give you it.
if he doesn't like flowers but you do and he gets it, something's wrong. Maybe he
Right.
cheated on me and he feels guilty. Something is
Mm,
wrong. So if he
Right.
gets the cactus and you know he always talks about stuff like that, or he gets you a bear, you know what I'm saying? Maybe he likes dogs and he gets
mm-hmm.
you a stuffed dog. You know
Right.
that that's him.
Exactly, he's putting thought into it, his
But you,
own
Right.
thought.
yeah, you
Yeah.
know that that's him.
Mm-hmm.
If he does the other thing, you know it's not. The reality is this. The truth is, even though there's no right or wrong answer, the truth is women are not impressed with men who are willing to do whatever for sex or to be involved with them. They're
Mm-hmm.
not.
Yeah.
Because
Right.
respect is big for women and trust. They don't respect and trust those guys. Those guys will fall for anything then. It comes down to what she was saying: power, self discipline. You understand what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? If you want to have two women, it's because you do. It's not because you're tempted.
And unfortunately,
You
I'm
see?
the type
Because he
of
has
person that I will
power.
take
He has
advantage.
power. He has self control.
What did you
Hmm.
say? Can you repeat it?
Unfortunately, I would take advantage. Maybe not now that I'm older, but
Yeah, and
in my
every
younger
woman
self,
would.
I would take
Yes.
advantage of the person.
Yeah.
Not advantage
So
in
it's
like a mean way, but it's just like,
it,
okay, well, I mean, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it, but
yes,
that's
it
not where
comes.
my respect is
Listen,
gonna lie.
Miss,
Mm.
it comes down to the respect. So the fact that you're saying you're gonna run him and you're gonna do whatever you're gonna get away with things is because you don't respect. So if you do respect, you're not going to try. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna build respect with there not being power there.
Hmm.
Just like you
Mm.
said, there's strength.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that's unwilling to do shit to impress you for sex or to be with you is actually attractive. It's just like when one episode 112 when we brought Chris in studio.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
How
Uh-huh.
men to be treated, the education on men to treat women, but there's no education for women how to treat men.
Yeah.
Hmm.
He said he saw a show, the 10 guys with the girl, they're all pandering to her. The
Mm-hmm.
11th guy comes in, what's up? Head nod and walks away.
Mm-hmm.
And she's attracted to
Hmm.
him more. Why? Because she's realizing, yo, what is it about him? Why
Right.
he's not like
Right.
everybody else?
Right.
She's actually more impressed. She's also looking at it as rejection to a sense.
Right. Like, how come he's not in line with everybody
Yes. So
else?
she's
Yeah.
running after him. That's
Mm-hmm.
the irony.
Yeah.
So the dudes
Definitely.
that are willing to do whatever for sex or be with them, that specific woman is not going to respect him because it correlates in her mind like he doesn't have balls.
Mm.
He can't stand his ground. He'll be doing whatever, do it. I'll say things. He agree with everything.
And
You know what
I
I'm
know
saying?
I
He
can
don't
walk
move
all
like a
over you.
man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can walk all over you, and that's not. Nobody
Yeah,
wants
that's
to
what it
be in a
Yeah,
comes down
that's
to.
relationship
not
like that.
appealing at all. Yeah.
7, sexual preferences is not often discussed in society when choosing a mate. Does sexual preference play a major role when accepting or choosing a mate for you?
Seconds, could you repeat I
Okay,
apologize.
so sexual preferences, right, is
Yes.
not often discussed in society when
Mhm,
choosing a mate. So that could be BDSM, that can be kinks. I like to be choked,
mhm,
spanked, pulled away, certain kinks, right? Sexual preferences. Maybe also race, maybe fetish, a size, a body part. Okay, just examples, right?
right.
When choosing a mate, does this play a role when you're accepting a mate or choosing to be with a guy? For you,
Um,
does sexual preference play a factor or it doesn't matter?
if it's for play, it does not.
Okay,
But if it's for a partner, yes, it does.
okay.
Um, I don't think it matters. For me, it doesn't matter. I mean, because how would you know, like, all the other, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say someone has a preference for, excuse my language, a big dick, right? How's she gonna know?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Off rip, you're not gonna know. He could be, good looking, whatever. How everything else, she won't know until you're in the bedroom, kind of. So I don't
Mhm.
think for me, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's subjective.
Yeah,
It's not
for
for
me, it
you to
doesn't
talk to
matter.
other women
Yeah.
about other women. The thing is, for me, it matters. It matters. So I know for a fact, if I would have married the chicks that my parents would have had me marry back in the day, the church girls or whatever it is, I would have definitely cheated.
Mm,
I would have cheated because they probably wasn't into that or they were hiding it. Like, how would you know?
yeah.
And I didn't know myself a lot back then. Now I know myself to the
Mm,
highest level. But that's why I'm saying, like, this is compromising your preferences when choosing a mate because of maybe societal standards, family pressure. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
Um, stuff of that nature. So it for me would definitely matter. Like, she gotta be into the stuff I'm into or be willing to try
Mm,
because then it's not gonna work. You see what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So it's not about like race, it's sexual preference. So I don't do vanilla stuff. That doesn't fulfill me.
Mm,
So I like BDSM activity. So if she's not into that, that's gonna be a problem. Also outside the bedroom. So it's not just play. You understand what I'm saying? For
mhm.
me.
I don't
If what?
7 and 8 are kind of almost similar, but I for 8
No,
Okay,
so
it's not. No,
okay,
it's
that's what I
go.
not.
was gonna say. Okay,
It's not because she just said she had two.
Okay.
But go ahead.
I think that I confuse the two. So for play, I mean, like in a relationship, yes, it matters. Like I have to be connected. We have to have the same similarities. Now I respect the fact. That's what I guess that's where I'm kind of at too. Is like eight the same thing? I mean, because
So eight, this is what eight is. If you have kinks like BDSM or BDSM sex, and your
right.
potential partner or current partner is unwilling to engage, is this a deal breaker or will you have another on the side who will and
Okay,
remain in that current
Ah,
dynamic?
I didn't read it
okay, so
through.
separate question. So that's a separate
Mhm.
question.
Mhm.
Okay, so yeah, I stick with my first answer as far as yes, I would definitely for play, I mean, I would do, different things. But when it comes to a relationship, now when it comes to eight, yes, we would have to mesh in that environment. However, I would still have respect for what that person might not be completely open to
So it's not a
because I
deal
know that
breaker.
it's not a deal breaker because I mean we have to be similar, like so similar. But if there's certain things, like just certain things
If they're like, "Nope,
that
I'm not even trying it. Don't even bring it up."
like yeah, if there's just certain things because I would expect the same respect for myself, but I also know that through a relationship, those walls can come down. So those things might come into play eventually.
Mm.
And I don't need anyone else to fulfill that need or that desire, because that's just not the way that I specifically am built.
Mm.
Okay.
Um, I would take that, I would take that, I mean, I would look at it and just say, that's something that they can't deal with. But I would expect the same for myself.
Okay. So
This is a hard one for me. If they're unwilling to engage, like completely unwilling, I think that would be a deal breaker for me.
Mm.
Because let's say, all right, let's say, um, I'm not the type to cheat either. I'm gonna start, having resentment towards him if he's not, I'm saying, if he's not even willing to try, something that I like, you know what I mean?
mhm.
I think I would build resentment towards him, and things would like not work.
Yeah, I don't think you would.
Well,
I don't think you would build resentment. I know you would build resentment. Just
That's what I'm
like
well,
saying.
just
what,
like most women will build resentment. They
Yeah.
won't even
well,
realize it because a lot of people don't know themselves and they can't identify things. But they will build
Yeah.
resentment. But go ahead, caller.
but what if there's actual trauma that keeps you from a certain situation or a certain kink or fetish or whatever it might be? Um, to me, that's just out of respect of, like, I mean, like I said, it might take time to move into that space.
Yeah, but
Mm.
Um,
also like it could take time. It might not ever. You know what I mean?
yeah, but
And
I,
if
I
that
I don't know. I guess for me that it still just comes down to respect of a person if they have an issue, a strong issue with that, then I don't think that it wouldn't be a problem for me. But
mm,
that's just my opinion. I mean,
Oh,
I see both sides.
yeah, sometimes we just put that out there because we're not in the situation. You got to be in the situation to see what really you're gonna do.
Correct.
yeah.
Um, me, no, it's a deal breaker. It's a deal breaker. BDSM outside the bedroom, BDSM inside the bedroom. It's a deal breaker. If she's unwilling to try, um, I'm not gonna have another one on the side because she can't. So because this is me. Every woman is a way I want them to be. Even if I have two women, they act the same way because the rules are the same. It's not gonna have I have a dominant woman on the side. I'm married like Dom and Sophia, and then I got the submissive slave Estrella.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying, on the side because that caters to my love language more. Like I got different flavors of ice cream. I don't
mm.
like variety in that sense.
Right.
If I have two women, they're both submissive. If one isn't, bye bye to the other one who isn't.
And there are
So my standards and my boundaries are ironclad. Like I don't play with them.
Well,
So
and I
it
guess
doesn't
it makes
matter
sense.
if she had love for me. If submission doesn't come with it, bye.
I
and
was
there
gonna say, I guess it does come down to submission and trust. So I guess if you truly trust and you're truly submitting, then
Yeah, if a woman
you
is opening
trust
her
that
legs
person
to
enough.
me, if a woman is opening her legs to me, she's submitting.
Yeah.
So she's willing to do a lot of things. Hey, daddy, poppy, whatever she's calling me. Um, where are we going to eat? You want to, pick out what do you want to eat today? She's submitting. So
mm.
if she's submitting
Right.
in that sense, she's gonna submit in every other aspect. Sex is the most prime, most profound thing when it pertains to submission.
I see what you guys are saying
So
as far as
so
that
the
goes.
reality is like if she's submitting in that sense, she's like manipulating because then why would she even give me the cheeks then? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? She's manipulating. So just
Right.
don't have sex with the guy. If you know you're not gonna be present there 100% and give your all. That's crazy to me.
Mm,
Yeah.
So
No,
you
that makes sense.
you understand what I'm saying? Sometimes some women
Mhm.
will fall for superficials in a man. They'll study him long enough and be like, "Oh, okay, he looks like he can put it down or whatever," and they build their love language around that. And then they think manipulating, "Oh, I'll get in there. Let me get in the door. Once I get in the door, then I could play. I could just manipulate and I'll change him."
mm,
Women think like this. If you don't put them in check, put them in their place, and train them to stop thinking like this and hold them accountable and say, I don't
Mhm.
like this, change, because there will be consequences, they're going to keep doing it.
I
They're gonna
also
keep
think
doing it.
a lot of people, if their partner is unwilling, because that to me, that word unwilling is just them saying no, I'm not even gonna try. If their partner is
Right.
unwilling, but they, everything else is okay, I think a lot of people will have somebody else.
Yeah, I
They'll
was
be
gonna
like,
get to that.
yeah, they'll be like, you're not gonna do it, okay, but you're good in every other aspect. I'm gonna go get satisfied over here. I'll come back and make dinner.
Yeah,
That's what I think.
yeah,
Makes sense. Makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
I'm learning. I'm learning.
Mm, mm.
You don't be that
I'm
way. You stay
learning.
the way you are.
Okay, so women with high sex drive versus a man with a high sex drive. What's the difference?
Is there?
It's up to you.
Um, I yes. I mean, I guess there's a difference in the sense that I think a woman with a high sex drive um,
You,
will no, I don't. Actually, I'm going to change
Okay,
that. I don't,
okay.
because I think that women with high sex drives, like if you just specifically have a high sex drive, you have a high sex drive. A man with a high sex drive has a high sex drive. I think there's the only difference is that a woman can find herself probably falling into a situation maybe a little bit easier, possibly, than a man. But other than that, no. A high sex drive is a high sex drive.
So,
um, can you tell me the definition of sex drive is again, as
so
opposed to the other
it's
one?
it's like stamina. Is she might run like she's horny all the time, sex frequently,
Oh,
multiple rounds. Um, appetite is like nympho or different courses of meals.
gotcha.
Um,
That's high sex drive.
like an nymphomaniac or sexual appetite could be a woman that got fucked in the morning and then got fucked in the night, same day.
That's appetite.
Appetite.
Mm,
Yeah.
Got you. Sex drive. Okay. A woman with a high sex. Okay. What's the difference? The difference is she's considered a hoe.
Okay. So the difference with me is these are your own answers. You don't
No,
have to
I know,
laugh
but no, the way you're like, okay.
because you made me think.
Oh,
Because the reason she's considered a hoe is because men will shame her or
yeah.
women, but I don't think
Whoever,
that's true.
somebody.
I don't think that's
but
true.
Mm.
and I have a rebuttal with the whole nymphomaniac, the nympho thing. I feel differently about that.
What's
But
the
go ahead.
rebuttal?
Because I think that because I think that I've always looked at myself as having a very high sex drive. Um, and in different ages in life, of course. I was a little bit freer, and you get older and you're not so much. Although there's nothing wrong with either. But I'm not the type of person that is like, I have to find someone today. I've always
Mm.
considered myself s- somewhat of a nympho, but I'm not going to run around and just like find someone because, it's been 48 hours, or
Like it's
I
not
don't need to.
uncontrolled.
I'm not, yeah, it's definitely controlled.
Yeah.
So,
That's the difference,
yes,
though. That's the difference. You can't still be a nympho because a nympho has an uncontrollable, insatiable appetite. So you saying if you could control it because you're thinking more logically. I'm not just going out there to satisfy myself. If anything, you'll masturbate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So you have it under control to a sense. So you're not really a nympho.
Mm.
okay,
There ain't no
okay.
shaming here.
Yeah, no, I
You
just think
understand?
it's kind of
You understand what I'm
confusing because
saying? I'm gonna get into my
people,
final thoughts, and when you watch
yeah,
this back, you're gonna feel a different type of way. But there ain't no
okay,
shaming here. So
okay,
it's not. I'm not saying it's bad to be an nympho or whatever. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
talk about the lack of self control. That's the problem. But let me
yeah,
not jump.
Yeah.
Let me give my
okay,
perspective.
yes, go ahead.
The difference with a woman with a high sex drive versus a man is the woman is looking to be satisfied. The man is looking
Hmm.
for pleasure. So he could, like you
Mm.
said earlier, is just a hole, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care. He'll hit anything moving.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Tomorrow, next week, next week. The woman is different. The woman is different because eventually she's gonna find that guy that's gonna satisfy her, and that's where she's gonna stay.
Right.
and she's gonna
Okay.
just keep climaxing and climaxing and
That's
climaxing.
the
You know what
sex
I'm saying?
drive.
Maybe in one session,
Mm.
3-4
Right.
times, but she's not gonna keep going and whatever because she has that.
She's not
You,
gonna go from guy to guy to guy.
yeah.
Got you.
So
See,
even if the
Because
man
every
is
guy is not going to
satisfied,
do
even if the
that.
man is
Yeah.
satisfied with sex, he's gonna keep going, 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 going. That's the
Okay.
difference with the
Mhm.
woman with the high sex drive and the man with the high sex drive.
See, I didn't. That was my the play on words was confusing me, like the sex
Yeah.
drive versus the appetite. Confused me.
Yeah.
So, do you think polygamous people are created from having high sex drives or big sexual appetites?
I do not. I think that is a very false narrative. Um
Okay. So,
Yeah, no, I don't think that there's high sex drive or appetites involved with polygamy necessarily.
it's a lifestyle. And there's an abundance of moving parts that make a, polygamous relationship work. And sex is not going to solve that.
Mm.
So
mhm.
I don't think, yeah, no, I don't
Yeah, I
think
don't think
that.
so
Now, I
either.
think that they probably do have high sex drives,
But that's
but I think
separate.
that that's just part of it. I mean, but that is not the reason for it. Or
Yeah, so I don't believe it.
Mm.
Every polygamous person or polyamorous or polygyny dynamic doesn't have to have it sex. Like there doesn't have to have like sexual intimacy and being involved. Sister wives don't have to interact sexually
Mhm.
with each other
Yeah,
sometimes.
Sometimes they don't even
Sometimes
like
it
each other.
yeah, sometimes
yeah,
it's 3 incomes or 4 incomes coming in. Sometimes he's the breadwinner and they don't work.
Mm.
So both sides, both have it. You know what I'm saying? So it's more so if you see people who are polygamous out there, that's definitely not the case. They're building an empire.
Mm-hmm.
Because if that was the
exactly.
case, they wouldn't be doing it for so long. It
Yeah.
would be a man and a woman who are husband and wife that just go out and just get swingers every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bye. Bye.
Right.
Probably never see you again. Next. You know what I'm saying? It would be like that. But if it's like something that's sustainable and they've been there, we're talking about longevity, they're definitely building an empire.
Mm-hmm.
And
Definitely.
they're truly keeping with their family. I mean, they're keeping their family together.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, and intact.
Who cares more about a nice butt, men or women?
I had no answer for that. Well, I have. This is my thing. um. So of course, men might be, or they say men are more visually stimulated. But at the end of the day, I believe that um, we all like to look at nice things. So, but there's a lot of nice butts everywhere. I mean, like there's an abundance of them. Um,
So
so
who
I,
cares more?
I don't think that I don't think that you can gauge that. Me personally, I
Okay.
don't.
So
I think women care more. I
men
think women care more, like, to look at and to have it.
okay, men do. Men do. 99% of men love the doggy style position, and
Yeah.
99% of women enjoy the position. So men like to look at it, and women like to enjoy it.
So
You
if it's
hitting the G
99
spot.
and 99,
So the reality is, who cares more about it more? Men. They're always looking. Me, I'm always looking. Just because I
girls
don't
look.
interact, I'm always looking. Not all girls. Not all
That's
girls.
true.
Not every
See,
girl's trying to get a
he
BBL out
always
here.
gets
You know what I'm
no.
saying?
No.
But every dude will turn around and look.
That's
Married,
true.
pastors, whatever. Every dude will turn around and look. So it definitely attracts more men than women. So men
Okay.
care more about it more. And I'm not saying a big ass or anything like that. I'm saying a nice ass, like a
Mm-hmm.
nice butt. Men are gonna always look. So I think they care more about it more than women. We even look at ancestry back in the days. They weren't getting BBLs back then, and men were still looking.
Yeah, but also women look like, hold up.
Yeah,
I want
you
that
can't
too.
say women. Some, you know what I'm saying? Some,
Yeah, because it
not
doesn't.
all. Maybe the caller is not even looking at a chick like that.
Yeah, no.
So
No, but it doesn't even have to be like, oh damn, look at that ass. It could be like, well, god damn, look at her ass. That is like a shapely. I want an
it's
ass
who
like
cares
that.
more about it.
All right. I'm just saying.
They say if you look psychology, they say the most that's on top of the list, the sexual position is doggy.
Yeah.
And then it's like missionary. You ask a lot of women out there, what position do you like? Most of them will say missionary because it's like a
No,
dominating.
I don't.
She's
I
like
said
negative.
most women. Most women will say missionary because he's over her. It's like a dominating position and a submissive position. You know what I'm saying? 94% of women want to be submissive in the bedroom. Only 6% don't. They might live a BDSM lifestyle. Madams, mistresses, dominatrix. They dominate men. But it's there. There's research. So you could go do that too. Like do research and find it. If you need the link, I can send you the link. But it's true. They've done
Do
studies.
that.
They've done studies.
I want to look at the research.
Yeah. So what's the difference between shaming a woman for being a hoe or a slut and shaming a man for being an incel?
I do believe that women have a great responsibility to carry themselves in a certain way,
Mm,
and in a way that they want to be treated. So, and I think that men can move around and not be shamed and not be put down for it. So I think that's the difference in it. Um, and I believe that women carry it in their soul if they are um, behaving in that manner.
okay.
Mm.
So
An incel is a guy who doesn't have sex on not because he doesn't want to, because
he's
he just can't get it.
involuntarily celibate.
Right, but not because of choice. He
Mm,
just can't get it.
Oh,
just can't
okay.
get it. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the difference between shaming a woman for being a hoe or a slut and shaming a man? I think they probably they probably wouldn't shame a man for that. They would just, feel sorry for him because, why can't you get it? And then a woman who is being a hoe or a slut is like, I guess they expect more from her. Like, if you could get it, why are you just, going around willy nilly with anybody? Willy nilly. I just wanted to say that word.
Yeah. So the difference between shaming a woman and shaming a man is one can control it, one can't. One it's easier, the other one it's harder. So
Kind of said that.
so the difference is like um it's like why shame somebody if they're working hard and they just can't get there, or it's they have a disadvantage.
Mm.
You understand? Versus the hoe or the slut, like you chose that path. You could already acquire sex easy, and you're doing this already
I said that kind
too.
of right. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, let's
Yeah.
shame them. That's crazy to me. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Mm.
That's the difference. Does being promiscuous affects a person's ability to have a long-term relationship or even a serious one?
I would say yes.
Okay.
Um, because if that is how you're being promiscuous or being viewed promiscuous, I guess, or both.
Say it again.
Being promiscuous or being viewed as being promiscuous.
Being promiscuous.
Well, yeah. I think that yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I
So,
definitely believe.
Yeah, I definitely 100% being promiscuous does affect a person's ability to have a long-term or even serious relationship. And I think it's because if they're promiscuous, um, they never make that connection. They never,
mhm,
you know what I'm saying? They're going from one to another to another to another, and you're not ever making that connection. So of course, it's gonna make it harder for you to have a relationship.
yeah. So this is for both men and women.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. And you explained it perfectly.
Thank you very
It's
much.
like that.
Thank you very much.
You're not able to bond. And women bond more than men, especially emotionally. But men are still affected when they're doing that.
Mm.
And they can't decipher. You understand what I'm saying? They can't decipher.
Yeah, they confuse it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can definitely tell a man that is not focused and is not, being at one with that person. I mean, they're distracted.
Hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I know some men who have multiple and they're still on their shit. They
Some
could
can.
handle their business, do this, do that, provide equally. It's not every man can do it. Um, Not every man is this competent, but I know some who can. I
But I
am
think
one.
that comes with the right
I
woman. I
am
think
that
that
one
comes with the
guy
right
too
woman.
that can do that. Is managing different set of tasks efficiently. A lot of men
Mm,
struggle just
very much.
doing one thing. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying every man can do it, but there are men who can. But I'm not knocking monogamy. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to shame you or anybody or anything like
Yeah,
that.
but
But
being promiscuous and being in a poly relationship, those are two different things.
yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? Like
It
you're
is.
building connections with the people that you're with when you're in
Yeah,
a
it
poly.
is. It is. But she just said focus on one person. So I'm just
Oh,
putting
okay,
it out
gotcha,
there.
gotcha.
Well,
You
and
know.
I think it's really, I have a really strange view on it anyway. I don't think that women really have a place in and I know this is going to sound really bad, and I don't mean this for everybody or to shame anyone, but I don't believe that women have a very good space um, at doing the whole multitasking thing,
Mm,
where I believe that men are able to do it, like you said, more efficiently. But I don't view it even the same. I don't think that it's necessarily um, a bad thing. I don't know,
okay.
which I know most people probably won't agree with, but
Okay. So either one of these high sex drive or high sexual appetite, can this be formed by being exposed to sex at a very early age, even like molestation? Is it just hereditary, generational?
I would almost say 100%
To
it
all of that?
is contributed to um, for boys and for girls,
Okay.
for them being mishandled or being
I like that.
mishandled,
Mishandle.
misused, or
Mm,
exposed to um, things that are, above their understanding at maybe the time,
mm-hmm.
or either, circumstances that have maybe happened later on, even in their life. But yes, I absolutely think that it leads to promiscuity, um, early encounters with sexuality, and further experiences as far as like, going further with just your sexual experiences.
Mm. So
Mm, I agree. I don't necessarily think it's hereditary. Um, and generational. What do you mean by generational?
generation to generation, your parents, their parents.
No way. Then no, definitely not hereditary or generational. But 100% yes. With being exposed to sex at an early age and molestation, because when it's at an early age, now your mind isn't ready for that, and now you
Mm,
think, oh, this has to be normal, or I have to do this for the opposite sex to like me now, or something like that. You know what I mean? So it definitely puts um those kind of thoughts into their head. It even at an early age, being molested, you even start to develop kinks at an early age like that from that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
yeah. So um, the operative word for me that sticks out is exposed.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
So molestation, yes. Generational. You probably saw your parents doing it.
Not me.
You know what I'm saying? Like
My mom's a
walked in, they didn't
prude.
lock the door. So you're exposed to that.
Mm.
Porn at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
You start doing it early age. Now it's muscle memory.
Yep.
So
yeah.
that's why you build that.
Right.
And like I think a high sex drive gets built. Same thing with an
Hmm.
appetite. Like it
Yeah.
gets built. So depending on what we're exposed to, some women, especially black and Hispanic women, they're more developed
Yep.
than
Hmm.
others. So they get sexualized very early.
Very
by
early.
even family members and,
Yeah.
molestation, all
Yeah.
that, rape, at a very early age. So it builds something with them, and now they have something beyond their control until they know themselves and they can control it,
Mm-hmm.
because they were exposed and their body was exposed to it very early.
Yep.
So it's muscle memory. That's what it is. You get that itch. You
And
get that itch. You gotta itch it. It's
It's
it's the
it's
body
like a drug.
reacting. That's
It's
what it
like a
is. It's
drug.
the drug in
yeah.
the
Yeah.
body
Yep.
Yeah.
reacting.
It is.
You know what I'm
It
saying?
is.
So that's what it is. So
And it's
so this is
unfortunate.
say it again.
I said it's unfortunate because I think a lot of people don't understand that. Um, there's a lot of things that I've just began to understand that I did not have control over. Not that I didn't have control over, but I guess if you don't understand it, you don't understand it.
Mm,
You
Mm,
think everybody else is like that as well.
mm,
definitely.
Whereas that might not be that's not the case.
mm,
Other people might be looking like, wait, I've never even thought about that. Whereas if it's been something that you've been exposed to,
mm.
um, then yeah.
So do you have any final thoughts? Do you have a problem with what I say? Do you like
No,
us or hate us?
I no, I love you guys. This is great. This is a great opportunity to be able to open up about things that are normally taboo
Mm,
and most people are ashamed to talk about, which there is no shame in our experiences in life,
definitely
um,
not. Yep.
and in what we choose to do with ourselves. And more topics like this and more, conversations um, help us evolve.
I
So,
like that.
no, it's been
Help us
great.
evolve. We help people evolve. That's
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Yes, you do.
All
I
right.
I appreciate I appreciate having the opportunity to come on
Well,
and
we
speak.
appreciate having you on. Thank you so much for being part of the show.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You guys keep it up. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, she was
All
very nice.
right. Taking this off. Okay. So
He's taking off the headphones, people.
number
That's bad.
one.
Number one was, can birth control or medication mess with sex drive? Hell yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Both birth control and medication. I mean, some medication even says it on there.
I agree. Okay, so we went through everything.
We did.
Um, let's see. Yeah, we went through everything. Good. I like doing it like this now. Less time
We didn't
consuming.
do 15. This is a problem. What is the solution?
Yeah, I was gonna get to that because
Okay.
that's part of our final thoughts.
Oh.
So, what do you think?
Um, what do I think? Is a high sex drive or a high sexual appetite a problem?
Yep. People can see on the YouTube stimulating conversations after dark. Go get yours now. Yep.
Is having a high sex drive a problem? I think it's only a problem if you can't control yourself. Look at the
You
different
stole my
look how
answer.
pretty. What do you mean? Every time I come up with a fantastic answer, he's like, "That was my
Mm.
answer."
So
I'm
it's a problem if
fantastic.
you can't control it.
Yeah. Either of them. If you have a high sex drive or a high sexual appetite, it's only a problem if the person who has them can't control their urges. Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, the solution. The problem is this. You know, the solution is the control. So working on yourself,
Mm-hmm.
identifying your triggers, good and bad triggers, um, knowing what your body reacts to and doesn't
Mm-hmm.
react to, um, knowing your schedule. Sometimes, like couples, right? Let's say they have sex 3 times a week, and it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The following week, their body's gonna remember, yo, we have sex around this time, so they're probably gonna get extremely horny.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? That's the body reacting. That's the drug in the body. Remember also the woman's menstrual cycle. It makes them extra hormonal. Before
Mm.
and after her period, she's the horniest. So that's another thing too. PMS. Usually a
Mm.
lot of women with high sex drives, they're like, I want to say highly in their masculine, but they're there.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? That's why they react. And them being bratty, giving you attitude, stuff of that nature, could be reactions to the lack of it.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You always heard
Not
the
having it.
saying. You always heard the saying. You'll give a good dick, she gonna act right.
Mm-hmm. It's like having withdrawals if you don't get
Yeah.
it. Mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing. So the problem is controlling this. For me, my subs, I train them about patience and self-control. If you feeling that and I can't do that because I'm not there, whatever, work or whatever, ask permission to masturbate. I always encourage that. And I always encourage more of clit action than actual penetration. We talked about this in the last show.
Mm-hmm.
So
Interesting.
for me personally, teaching them patience is also teaching them in a sense, because I'm one of the great teachers, one of the best teachers in the world. How they're gonna react, identify that. I ask them questions.
Like
So I
what?
see certain patterns. If I didn't have sex with her for a week, I see her pattern. Oh, she's misbehaving. And I start asking questions. So you didn't masturbate or whatever it is, or this and that. If she didn't, and her attitude is flaring up, I'm gonna ask her, well, I know you have a high sex drive. That's number one. Number two, does that affect your mood?
Mm. Now,
And then I'm gonna keep going. Does that affect your mood? If you don't get it for a long time, how is that? Because
mm.
sometimes, like you said earlier, like a crack addict.
Yep.
And if that crack addict doesn't get that, what happens?
They
They
rob
do
somebody.
uncharacteristic things sometimes too. Rob
Mm-hmm.
somebody, like you said, whatever, you know? So me, I study those things. I teach them to identify with it. Because especially this lifestyle, it brings a lot of intensity out of soul body experiences.
Mm.
So it's like, oh my God, I want more and more and more and more. It kind of like makes you become greedy. Almost.
Okay.
So if you don't teach them about this, they fall in love with that. And that's why it comes down to the question of, is your climax more worth more than this relationship and me?
Oh.
So I teach them in those aspects, because then you get them falling in love with superficials. They lose sight of who you are, what this is, and even you. They
Mm.
fall in love with that. We had episode 115 where we
Amazing.
talked about this, about the um big thing to the table. You understand what I'm saying? I don't
Mm-hmm.
know verbatim, but it's big thing to the table.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever you're bringing to the table,
Mm-hmm.
of that value or whatever. We said this. If the if you are um having some like building something with them, and it's something that they're falling in love with, like for example actions or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
when you're not there or you're not giving them, they might not like you as much.
Yeah, yeah. Like what? Like a woman who likes when the guy buys her things all the time. Now she's
Yeah,
falling in love with. Oh,
the gifts.
I know he's gonna buy me something instead of
Absolutely.
him. Yeah, yeah.
So this becomes a codependency. That's what it is. The
Mm-hmm.
problem is the codependency.
Mm-hmm.
You see me, I don't let things affect me. If I'm stressed or whatever it is, I'm not turning to that substance. Some people might be like, oh, I'm stressed, I'm turning to that substance, I'm turning to alcohol or whatever. No, if I'm stressed or feeling depressed or whatever it is, I channel that through other things that are healthier, like the gym.
Mm.
I write, I read, and stuff of that nature. Other people turn to drugs.
Mm-hmm.
Other people turn to alcohol or whatever it is. It's the codependency. That's the problem. So the
Big problem.
solution to the problem is incorporating self-discipline.
Mm-hmm.
The solution to the problem is having self-control. That's the
Definitely.
power. That's the strength.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at the man or the woman with the high sex drive or has high sexual appetite, the appetite is worse than the sex drive. Because the appetite is like, oh, multiple, da 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 da, one day in the morning,
Mm.
whatever it is.
Like one won't just
Yeah,
satisfy
the
them.
the sex drive could be tamed.
Mm-hmm.
You go into multiple rounds, they find it. Remember, the woman and the man is different in that regard.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's looking to be satisfied or tamed. He's looking for pleasure. Remember, whatever, whole, whatever. I keep going, keep going, keep
Mm-hmm.
going. You know what I'm saying? Not building any
Yeah.
connections. There's no longevity there. There's nothing really that genuine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The woman, on the other hand, is seeking something. She actually has that that something happened to her that was traumatic. That's
Mm-hmm.
why it happens in her. That's why she
Mm.
has that drive.
That makes a lot of
You
sense.
understand what I'm saying? So the moment she meets that dude, that God, that divine masculine, that makes her identify it and helps her
She
navigate
leaves
through that,
everything else.
she builds to control it. It doesn't ever go away, but she controls it.
Mm. Interesting.
You understand what I'm saying? This is all about knowing yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not moving like a robot.
I'm happy that you said that
It's
because
knowing yourself, knowing your identities, knowing your triggers, knowing what makes you angry, knowing what makes you horny, knowing what makes you sad, knowing all these things and then navigating through it.
yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah.
It's all about knowing yourself and working on yourself to heal yourself because of generational
Yes,
curses.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. Just because it's a difference with knowing, what triggers you, what makes you react this way or whatever, and it's another thing to know it and then try to do something about it, to work on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just because you know it, that's not good enough. Like I had a girlfriend of mine kind of say something along those lines, like, "Well, at least I know, that's good," and I'm like, "No, that's kind of worse." Because if you know that these are your issues, that this is your trigger, and you're perfectly fine with leaving it like that and not working on it, then that's worse, I think.
Yeah, if you don't control it and think logically, you're gonna move irresponsibly. So
Mm-hmm.
now the high sex drive and the appetite controls you.
Mm-hmm.
It controls you because you lack self-discipline.
Like an
So the
addict.
woman's horny that day, right? She's tired of being lonely. Her girls invite her out. Oh, girl, you need some dick. And it's worse too, because her girls are bad influences.
Mm.
Oh, girl, you need some dick, whatever. Da-da-da. Come hang out with us. So now she goes out, she gets drunk out her mind and gets involved with whoever. Now has a one-night stand,
Mm.
unprotected.
Oh,
That's
so
an
bad.
irresponsible decision.
Yeah.
Why? Why? Because of that sex drive or that appetite and the lack of thinking logically, but more thinking and moving emotionally.
Mm-hmm. Selfishly.
You understand what I'm saying? So every single time when you move emotionally and you think emotionally, you make bad decisions. You need to think logical to make good decisions.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? That's more getting into your masculine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fault the women because most feminine women are emotional. That's why they need the masculine to balance them
Mm.
and teach them about this. Yo, think. You know what I'm saying? Be logical, be logical. You speaking emotional right now. You being emotional,
Yeah.
making them identify it.
You know how many
So,
times I've heard that?
you understand what I'm saying? That's the solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Because that whatever traumatic experience or early you were exposed to as a young
Person.
whatever child, you were exposed to it. It's already been there and done that. You can't change the past.
Mm-hmm.
To move forward,
Unfortunately.
you got to identify it, know yourself, heal spiritually, physically, emotionally, sexually. Some women are sexually abused and some of that
Mm-hmm.
nature. Heal on all that aspect. Then you control it because now you know your physiological needs
Mm-hmm.
and what your body reacts to and doesn't,
Yeah.
and how to control that and how to navigate.
Yeah.
Because that's gonna keep you out of a lot of trouble or potential.
Yep.
So this is actually a problem because even those women that post their booty cheeks online and show a lot of cleavage and they're in relationships, they probably got high sex drives and appetites and they can't control it. They don't know themselves. So they're dick hungry. They're online showing their booty, twerking,
Or
and stuff like that.
maybe they're getting their fix by
They're
getting
they're not workers.
No. I'm saying maybe they're getting their fix, like you said, they're showing their body online because they are like that. So they're getting
Oh, they're getting their fix.
right.
Yes. Yep. You're right. They could be doing that too
Yeah.
to get their fix.
Maybe they're thinking, I'm not cheating. I need attention or something.
Yeah.
Like we've said before.
So
Yeah.
all of that can play into having that high sex drive or that appetite that you are not aware of and you cannot control it.
Yeah.
The moment you start controlling it, you know how to navigate, and then you let it out with that potential suitor or candidate that you choose, all on it. That's why she's squirting everywhere, leaving puddles, multiple rounds or whatever it is, and he's satisfying that because he's touching every part about her.
Mm.
And then now she gives her all to him because she knows she could be her, even her not just her most vulnerable, she could be her most freak. She could be her most slut, her most nasty there, and there won't be judgment and resentment. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it goes down to that. It's about identifying.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, men can't be doing this either because the masculine has to be on his purpose and
Mm-hmm.
keep going. And a lot of times like that, when you're doing that, it makes you lose sight because you're losing so much energy. You're giving your divine energy away to
When you have
multiple
sex?
people.
Okay.
To multiple people. So it does not allow you to elevate and even be the hustler and be ambitious
Mm-hmm.
because your energy is being depleted, especially the people you're interacting with. So if the dude is fucking with hoes, it's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing because their energy is toxic. So now he's absorbing that.
Yep.
So he got a lot of female energy. He not in his masculine. He got a lot of female energy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Toxic, wounded feminine
Oh yeah.
that not even healed.
Yep.
So it's all about identifying it, healing, learning these things about you, your triggers, you're learning how your body works, and then controlling it.
Yep.
Having self-control. That's the solution to the problem. That's hard for a lot of people to do.
Very
But the
hard.
reality is, it's not about being different. Oh, they're different or whatever. What makes people different is the fact that they're more consistent. They're more determined. They're more willing to do it. Even when it's raining, even when it's the worst time, I'm still gonna do it. You mean the consistency that I won't take no shit and let no
Stop me.
bumps in the road stop this journey.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it takes to get to this level. It's not, okay, well, I'm gonna be a good girl for a month.
And then go back.
And then they go back.
Yeah.
Because then it
It was
defeats
a
the
good month
purpose.
though. It was a good month.
You see what I'm saying? This stuff can also inspire single moms.
Yeah. Of course.
You see what I'm saying? It's a whole epidemic, but it starts with a domino effect of the littlest thing not being controlled or whatever.
Yep.
Now they chose the wrong partner. At least it is. You just keep the
It's like,
generational
yeah.
curse going. You're not breaking the generational
Yeah. You're
curse.
adding to it. Yeah. Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the self-control. That's what's gonna like be the solution to the problem for a lot of things.
Yeah. That self-control. Oh yeah. Knowing yourself.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Any final thoughts? That's it?
That's it.
Yeah. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, you were tuned into one of the most raw, uncut, unapologetic, real podcast, the Discipline Therapy Podcast. Peace.